Kaunas is the second largest city in Lithuania. During the interwar period, it served as the temporary capital of Lithuania, when Vilnius was seized by Poland between 1920 and 1939. The city is the capital of Kaunas country. Kaunas is located at the confluence of the two largest Lithuanian rivers and is near the Kaunas Reservoir, the largest body of water in the whole of Lithuania. Hello, I'm RetroJules. Have you seen the new map, Kaunas? It would appear that this week, on my channel, is Map Week, which is great because it's nice to have some stuff to talk about as the developing giant that is wargaming is awakening and making stuff for us. As I make this video, I haven't actually played this map. I just looked on YouTube to see if anybody had made a video about this map, and they haven't, so I thought, well, best I get to it. And I will fly you around retro style and you can have a look at the map. It is a very templatey, featureless kind of green rolling map. It's a very flat map with a few undulations, and I embrace a new map. It feels like if you were to put this and the community map together, when that's finished, I don't think they're going to look that different. It's almost like these two maps have been made side by side from a very similar template. There's no water in this map. They're just very flat, slightly undulating maps with no tactical points to fight for, and they feel a little bit samey. In fact, this map for me doesn't do anything that Heilbronn doesn't do. In fact, Heilbronn does it really well with elevation and a city with rivers and bridges to cross. It doesn't do anything that Rosini doesn't do. In fact, Rosini does it with elevation and a fortress to fight for. Doesn't do anything that Calm doesn't do. Doesn't do anything that Duke La Pass doesn't do. This seems to be a generation of maps that you kind of just roll around. There's no real points that I can make out that you would particularly fight for or try to get to have power on the map. They just feel like maps you just roll around in and battle on. Which sounds a little bit obvious, but it just seems to lack a little bit of strategy for the teams in this map. You literally are just going to be rolling around looking for the teams. You're not going to be going to a certain point to try and capture it. Get there first and hopefully hold off the enemy and have an advantage in the game. This map isn't artillery safe at all. Where are the big slow heavies going to hide from artillery? There's a few buildings, but nothing really. And there is the beautiful Lithuanian castle in this map, and it's not in the playable area. And I was really gutted about that. It's in the periphery. It's outside the map as a viewpoint. I would love to have seen that in the map as part of a city, which could have been a capture point, it could have been an advantage point, it could have been a really good point in amongst the city or a village where heavy tanks could hide. As much as I like to see this new map, I am a little bit underwhelmed. And I'm going to be honest with you, and you don't have to agree with me. I just feel the maps are just a little bit lacking imagination, they're lacking personality. This map, of course, would be excellent in a wheeled vehicle. And I can't help thinking that perhaps the new maps are being designed with that in mind, because there are a lot of maps in World of Tanks I would not want to play in a wheeled vehicle because of the corridors. But maps like this, and Heilbronn, and Rossini, Khan, Duke La Pass, Steps, Muravonka, Prokhorovka are absolutely going to be awesome for wheeled vehicles. But does that mean the game, is changing towards the faster, lighter game? Because if it is, I kind of feel a little bit sorry for the guys that want to roll out the big, slow, heavily armoured tanks, because I think maps like this just do not suit them. If you watch my channel, you will know that maps are really, really important to me. And I embrace the new maps, and I always look forward to a new map, and I just am not excited about this map. When I saw Pearl River being developed for PC, I was really, really excited. And I'm not even going to play that map. I'm not going to get to see it, but I felt the excitement. When I see this map, I have no emotion about it whatsoever, apart from the fact that it is another map we can play. I just feel at the moment that there is no imagination going into this game. There is no originality going into this game. I know we've got Swedish mediums on the way, but when you think about it, that's only 3 new tanks in the game, which will get played through very quickly, and you'll probably end up with 1 new tank, which will be your tier 10. And then of course we're going to get wheeled vehicles later on in the year, and that is just one single French tank line. Tank line, wheeled vehicle line. And that will probably end up with you just having 1 more vehicle in the garage, because you will probably just earn your way up to the tier 10 and keep that. So long term, they're not adding a whole lot of variety into the game. Short term, absolutely, grinding them, playing different tank styles will be brilliant. But long term for me, this game is always about the maps. We are getting a better rotation of maps, but most of these maps are 5 to 6 years old. They've been around for a very, very long time. What's happened to the weather variants? Have they disappeared? When's the last time you were on a map that was raining or snowing? So we're sort of lacking a little bit of dynamics within the maps. You know, even that adds a bit of variety. And I just want a little bit of vibrancy and some real excitement to come into this game. And if we are limited to the range of maps that we can have, the quantity of maps that we can have, then we do know that Wargaming are very good at reskinning things. Well, how about then they take Pearl River, Ensk, Province, and Pilsen, for example, and expand them and make them into bigger maps, so there's more of a play area, and more of a play area that suits all types of tanks. And how about turning some of the maps into war-torn maps? Do you remember when war-torn maps came out? It was brilliant. They had a completely different atmosphere, and the maps played differently too. So I'd like to see some of those come back or be developed. I'm completely underwhelmed by this map, as you can probably tell. I really look forward to what you think of this map. Has this map been designed in this way because we've asked for it? And you may be thinking, well, hang on, Retro, I didn't ask for a green, undulating, relatively featureless map. Well, you probably did when you said, actually, Wargaming, don't want to play city maps anymore. Or actually, Wargaming, don't want the corridors. There's so many maps with corridors and choke points. So if you take away corridors and choke points and you take away cities, you're kind of left with an open, undulating landscape, which is what we're looking at now. If you haven't seen Konas, here it is for you to have a fly around. As I say, I haven't played it yet, and my view of the map might change completely when I've had a few battles on it. This did not build the excitement in me that Pearl River did on PC, and that wasn't because of the graphics, it was because of the imagination that had gone into redeveloping the map, giving it a few key new areas to play, and yeah, just looked amazing. So I will leave you with my tank flying around the map so you can have a good look. I'm really looking forward to what you think of this map and what you think of the maps in general. Do you think this style of map is the way forward? Do you not want city maps? Do you think that choke points and corridors are a bad idea? Or is this purely just another Eastern European map and this is what they look like in the game? Do you think that the maps are alienating the slow heavy tank players? Do you think that the maps are a little bit too artillery exposed? Really looking forward to your thoughts and comments down below about this map and what you think of map generation in general. I know I am hard to please, and don't get me wrong, I am happy to see a new map in rotation in the game, and we've got the community map coming when that's been developed. But all in all, a lot of us have agreed that we are bored of the maps, and just bringing 2 new maps, which are a little bit bland, into rotation, I don't think really fixes the map issue. So if Wargaming haven't got room for many more maps, then what do you think about them perhaps redeveloping some of the existing maps that we've got? And which maps would you like to see redeveloped? Are there any maps in the game that you would like to see taken out completely, or are there some that you would happily see disappear for a little bit and come back as a new shiny version? I hope you enjoyed the flyby of Konas. Keep safe, keep tanking, and I'll see you soon.